Good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to make this short, but just a little in service as we head into our inside of a month of getting ready for school. I think everybody probably hopefully saw the emails from Todd on just extending the start of school a week, or backing it up a week. We will still have the same contract and same days for faculty. That first day of showing up for orientation is the 13th, and we will then have the 13th and 14th, and then that next week to continue. Everybody will be in. The expectation is for everybody to come in. Those are contracted days. Right now we don't plan on moving any of the rest of the school calendar. We have enough hours to meet the requirements, Ohio requirements. So right now we don't plan on really moving anything. So that's a little bit of that. I'm actually excited about that opportunity for all of us to get in here and for us to train well together in order to be ready for the 26th. Great. One general, I think I've said this before, but I want to repeat it because I think this is one of the biggest mind shifts and changes for all of us in having a good go at instruction, classroom instruction this fall. You and I need to, and I say Lynn, Ryan, and myself are all still teaching this fall, so we're in with it, right with you. The biggest shift that you can make that I think will help you is if you look to eliminate dichotomies between your in-class instruction and your e-learners. So for example, if you continue to collect hard copy papers from your in-class, then it's going to be extra work because you're going to have to do something different for your e-learners. So I would look to pursue all avenues of not having to do double work, just teach to everybody. So that means probably using Google Classroom for most everything. We will talk about all the different assessment opportunities and the ways we can do that so that you're not doing two different manners, ways of assessing and assignments and things. You can even do group work and incorporate the e-learners. If you think from the outset of just teaching one way and it working for both paradigms, it'll make the year go much more smoothly. So that's just my first statement. So let's continue to talk about the setup that we have. I noticed Mark and Steve already began putting some of these cameras out and about in the rooms, and so great. I think we have 3 functioning setups here in the front hallway right now. The middle school is all in today for an in-service, and then they're going to come and start practicing. I'll just do this video and then look for high school faculty to start coming in whenever you have time and start arranging your room and getting the setup like this and practice. Everybody is going to need to practice. You can't just come in cold and set this up and figure it out. You'll be fumbling and stumbling. We have a good system. It seems like it's gonna work well, but you have to practice. And I have to practice, so I keep doing it like this, and I'm still not. I'll get smoother at it, but it's just gonna take a little bit of practice. Okay, here we go. Everybody will have their Chromebook, a camera, and the big screen TV in their room, and that's all we need right now. The connections here, USB to the camera, and whatever it takes to plug in the TV, and we're good with that. So it's a pretty simple setup. The only thing that's different than what maybe you used to do is in the settings, and we will push out information about how you set it up, but you don't do mirror image to your screen. You just unclick that so it's an extended screen. So for example, at the beginning of, before class starts, maybe I'm going to use a Google Slides presentation that's going to help in our discussion. So I open that up here on my laptop, and then with an extended screen, I'm just gonna drag that over to the TV screen for the students to see in class. And you can resize that. I go half and half. And then you can also, and this doesn't need to necessarily be over on this screen, but you can put your camera. This is I have it turned so you can see a little bit here, so it's not perfect in terms of how I want it. But this is the laptop camera that's showing up here on the screen. And then you can drag that over onto your TV screen. So everything that's on this TV screen, obviously the in-class students can see, and you can go through your presentations, whatever you need. You can put up a video here if you want, a Google Class, whatever you need to show, you can just show the students what they need to see. Now here's the cool thing. Because we're going to open up a Google Meet session, we can show the e-learners anything that you put on your TV screen in the classroom, the Google Meet learners can see. So right now, if somebody were sitting at home, they would be seeing me on the screen, and they would be seeing whatever content that I'm showing there, okay? And so that's an easy thing to do. And I haven't done it yet, but it's just a matter of opening up the Google Meet screen and then presenting your entire screen. And then you can have the Google Meet screen on your laptop, and it's showing, I'm suspecting we might have anywhere from 1 to 4 e-learners in a class. I don't know yet, that's really pretty nebulous right now. But you can see them right here. You don't have to drag your Google Meet screen onto the big screen right up here. Unless you want to, because you want an e-learner to talk to the class or present or something. And then you can decide the audio for e-learners, whether you maybe just have a microphone in your ear or you just have however you want to do that with the e-learners, however you want to handle engagement with the e-learners. So if you look at it this way, I'm trying to have my mindset that it's really no different if you're an e-learner and you're sitting right here, or if you're in class and you're sitting right there, front row. So my e-learners are maybe all sitting in the front row. And I'm just gonna think about it that way, and I'll engage with them. Hey, good morning. Billy, how you doing this morning? And you're just engaging live. They're welcome, whatever instructions you give for e-learners on how if they have a question that they want to ask or they want to participate some way, I mean, they just do it just like the classroom. You can have the audio on and they can pipe in, or somehow you can have a raise the hand signal. However you want to handle that would be great. Okay. Now, for those of you that use a whiteboard and you're accustomed to turning and writing things, on your whiteboard, etc., this may be a little adjustment. This is where you can sort of use this camera as a document camera. And so I don't know if you can see it, but on the corner of the camera app, there's a little circular button, and I call it a little bit of a toggle switch. And if you click on that, it just switches the camera view to this camera right here. And you can go back and forth between this camera and your laptop camera however you wish. So a white piece of paper is probably the best thing, and probably a dark marker makes it look the best. And so you can just work your math problems, whatever, or if you're a drawing kind of a teacher, whatever you need to do right here, you just use that. So, and they don't always need to see your face. So the e-learners, this is what they would be seeing at home. And if you don't have content you can just increase the size of your document camera, so to speak, and just have it big like that. And so then if that's all you need to be showing your e-learners at home or you're in class, then you can just have it big like that, or you just minimize it again, right there like that. And now I'm gonna teach. I can click through my presentation. If I have a presentation I want to use, I can watch a YouTube video, Google Classroom, whatever. And I'm making sure with my cameras, either camera, that I'm connecting with my e-learners. And then I have Google Classroom up on my laptop so that I can connect with my e-learners as well. Hopefully during the week before school that we just bought, we can set up a system where we're all gonna practice this together. And you can practice your setup system, and we'll talk about kind of best practices and streamlining the process. Here's one last thing so the video's doesn't drag on too long. You can, if it works in your room, you could take this camera and use it like this, change it, and maybe set it back a little bit. And this may be, the setup may not be exactly how you want it. I'm not gonna take time to fiddle with that. But where it actually, and maybe we can just maximize this, to where you're actually catching the whiteboard and me instructing, and the e-learners at home can see this on the screen here, you know, so it's fine for the in-class. And you might want to do that if you're more comfortable with that. You just have the camera like that. You just have to, in your room, you have to make sure that the e-learners can see your whiteboard. So if there's light glare in your room, where you position the camera, how you want to do that. Let me check if I'm actually getting, well, I had the whiteboard, yeah, let me show you what the setup was there. There we go. So I have the camera back there, and it essentially is catching this whole area, and that's what I project to my e-learners. And you can have it, you don't really even have to maximize it here on your screen, I guess. You could just have it, you know, like that, if it's okay for the e-learners to see. So during our week of in-servicing times and practicing, we'll have each other log in as an e-learner from home so we can see how that looks, and then we can just make best practices. Each one of us can set this up and have the system set up kind of however we feel we want to do it. So there might not be one best method, but I think our basic foundation and our basic platform of how we want to pull this off is fairly solid. And now we need to dig in and start practicing it. Good? So I'm gonna push this video out to you just as a quick in-service, and then we'll start connecting even more on ironing things out. Thanks, guys.